Wake up from the lie you were not born weak. You were made weak by comfort, by excuses, by forgetting that life is war, not a retreat. You let soft habits devour your potential, but the Stoics remind us, strength is not a gift, it's a choice you make daily. The world will not wait for you to toughen up. Life will demand more than you're prepared to give, and if your spirit is soft, you will break. But there's a solution, a way out, a mindset forged in fire. Stoicism. Let me remind you, as Marcus Aurelius would, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Comfort is the silent killer of strength. Comfort whispers gently, and you listen. It says, rest a little more. It says, you've done enough. But every time you obey, you lose a piece of your edge. The Stoic knows that too much ease is more dangerous than hardship, for ease seduces the mind into apathy. You do not grow strong by avoiding difficulty. A blade that has never met resistance remains dull. A soul that avoids adversity becomes fragile. Choose the path of resistance, not because it's glamorous, but because it's real. Comfort numbs you. Hardship awakens you. The world rewards those who endure what others avoid. Pain, effort, repetition. These are not signs of suffering, but of strength in formation. Marcus Aurelius endured plague, betrayal, sleepless nights as emperor, not by seeking ease, but by walking through fire, eyes open. Ask yourself this: when was the last time you did something hard by choice? When did you run toward effort instead of from it? That's where strength lives. That's where weakness dies. The man who embraces discomfort rules over the man who avoids it. Comfort shrinks your ambitions. It convinces you that good enough is enough. But Stoicism teaches that your standard should be virtue, not convenience. And virtue demands sweat, silence, solitude, and sacrifice. Are you ready to pay the price? The body grows when it is stressed. So too the soul. The Stoic welcomes discomfort because he knows it is the forge in which excellence is born. Each trial is a chisel shaping your character. Without resistance, you remain unformed, soft clay instead of sculpted will. You are not made for luxury, you are made to endure. Roman emperors wore simple cloaks and walked among soldiers not because they had no wealth, but because they feared becoming weak in spirit. What do you fear more, effort or mediocrity? When you choose the harder path, when you rise early, delay pleasure, sit in silence, resist indulgence, you are casting votes for the strong version of yourself. That man waits on the other side of your excuses. Do you have the discipline to meet him? Comfort is not always physical. Sometimes it's the comfort of not speaking up, of not taking a risk, of not being honest with yourself. Stoicism is not just about enduring cold or hunger, it's about enduring truth, especially when it's painful. So I ask you, not as a philosopher, but as a fellow soul in battle, will you remain a prisoner of ease, or will you become what the Stoics call prokopton, one who advances daily in virtue? Kill comfort before it kills you. Choose the hard path, that is the way. Your mind is a weapon, sharpen it daily. You wake up and check your phone before you check your thoughts. You fill your mind with noise before you build it with clarity. And then you wonder why you're anxious, scattered, and fragile. Your mind is your first battlefield, and if you walk into it unarmed, you're already defeated. A Stoic doesn't wait for focus to arrive, he creates it. Through journaling, through silence, through reflection. He trains his thoughts as a warrior trains his sword, not once, but every day. For what use is strength in body if the mind collapses at the first sign of chaos? You are not your emotions, you are not your impulses. You are the observer behind them and the one who must master them. Your mind, if left untrained, will become your enemy, but if sharpened, it becomes your greatest ally in the war of life. The weak man allows every emotion to move him. He gets offended, rattled, reactive. The Stoic, in contrast, practices stillness. He does not let the waves dictate his course. He stands like a lighthouse amid the storm, his reason shining through the fog of reaction. We do not learn strength by chance. We learn it by choosing hard thoughts over easy distractions. You must sit with your fears. You must confront your shame. You must look in the mirror without flinching. Only then does the mind begin to obey its master you. Books are your fuel. Silence is your sharpening stone. Solitude is your training ground. Every moment you spend in honest thinking is a moment you prepare for war. A day without thought is a day you handed your power to the world. The Stoics did not run from philosophy because it was abstract. They ran toward it because it was practical. It helped them conquer rage, envy, lust, despair, not by magic, but by mastery of thought. They trained their perception until nothing could shake them. What are you feeding your mind? What words do you allow to shape your beliefs? What ideas are sculpting your character? If you do not take control, someone else will, and they will not shape you into a warrior. They will shape you into a consumer, a pawn, a ghost. Train your thoughts like you train your body. Wake up early to reflect. Question every belief that keeps you small. Speak less, observe more. Where your focus goes, your life follows. And if your focus is scattered, so is your strength. You do not need more motivation, you need more clarity. A sharp mind cuts through fear. A disciplined mind doesn't beg for strength, it becomes strength. Let your mind become the sword. Let Stoic thought become the fire that forges it. Pain is not the enemy, it's the teacher. Pain is not a punishment, it is a signal, a messenger from reality, reminding you that something must change, something must grow, something must be faced. Yet you curse it, you flee from it, you numb it, and in doing so, you delay your transformation. The Stoic does not see pain as the enemy, but as the instructor. Life itself is the school. Pain is the lesson. It is not here to destroy you, but to refine you. The weak man says, "Why me?" The Stoic says, "What is this trying to teach me?" When hardship arrives, the untrained mind looks for escape. The Stoic, however, looks for wisdom. He does not scream at the fire, he walks through it with open eyes. He understands that growth without discomfort is an illusion. What muscle was ever built in comfort? We are not forged in moments of ease. We are forged in moments of resistance when your body wants to quit, but your will continues, when your emotions scream for revenge, but you respond with discipline. These are the invisible battles where strength is earned. Pain reveals your thresholds. It exposes what still controls you: ego, fear, attachment. You cannot conquer what you won't confront. Stoicism says, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better, stronger, wiser. Let your scars be proof that you didn't run. A man who avoids pain becomes weak, but a man who embraces pain becomes dangerous. Not because he seeks suffering, but because he has trained himself not to be broken by it. And when life cannot break you, it cannot control you. Your losses teach you more than your victories. Your heartbreaks, your failures, your setbacks, they shape you into something unshakable. Stoicism doesn't numb you to pain, it sharpens you through it. It teaches you to walk through fire and emerge whole. Look back on your life. The moments that changed you, that elevated you, were they not born of struggle? You remember the pain not because it broke you, but because it built you. So why fear the next one? Why not welcome the next test? Do not let comfort fool you. A painless life is a shallow one. Seek the path with resistance. Accept the hard road, not because you enjoy suffering, but because you value what it gives birth to: clarity, purpose, resilience, strength. And so, when pain knocks, do not run. Stand, listen, ask, what is this trying to shape within me? That is the Stoic response, not denial, not collapse, but mastery through endurance. And once you master pain, what else is there left to fear? You are distracted, and that's why you're drifting. A man without direction is a man who drowns in distraction. The modern world feeds you novelty like bread, and you take it gladly. You scroll, you click, you binge, and you call it rest. But you are not resting, you are retreating from your life, from your purpose, from your soul. The Stoic sees distraction not as a harmless vice, but as a thief. It steals your time, your focus, your mind. One moment of lost attention becomes a habit of disengagement, and what begins as pleasure ends in paralysis. Your potential fades while you stare at the screen. You were not made for aimless consumption. You were made to create, to reflect, to endure. But how can you live deeply if your mind is scattered across 1,000 meaningless impressions? The distracted man cannot be wise. He cannot be disciplined. He cannot be free. You are drifting not because you're broken, but because you're unfocused. Your compass is spinning because you've stopped listening to your own inner voice. The Stoic recalibrates that compass daily. Through stillness, through writing, through silence, through purpose, every moment of your life is being bought or stolen. Either you spend your time with intent or someone else spends it for you. And those who control your attention control your fate. The Stoic does not hand over that power. He guards it as his most precious treasure. Attention is a form of life. Where your focus goes, your energy follows. You become what you pay attention to. Focus on rage, and you become bitter. Focus on desire, and you become restless. Focus on virtue, and you become powerful. Distraction is weakness masquerading as entertainment. It feels good because it saves you from the hard task of self-confrontation. But avoidance has a cost, and that cost is your growth. The Stoic would rather suffer boredom in solitude than die slowly in digital noise. Ask yourself, when was the last time you sat with your own thoughts for an hour, undistracted? When did you last walk in silence, without music, without media, just you and your conscience? That's when the real questions come, and with them, the real answers. You don't need more time, you need fewer leaks. Patch your attention. Focus like a soldier in war because that's what life is. Every moment you are either preparing for victory or surrendering to your lower self. The battle is always on, so cut the noise. Unplug from the trivial, reclaim your hours, your focus, your fire. The Stoic does not seek stimulation, he seeks direction. He does not drift, he steers. And the moment you take your attention seriously, your life begins to move with purpose again. Self-discipline is the foundation of all strength. Without discipline, you are a slave not to others, but to yourself. Your cravings, your impulses, your comfort, your fear, they chain you, rule you, dictate your days. You may look free on the outside, but if you cannot say no to yourself, you are imprisoned from within. Discipline is not a punishment, it is liberation. It is the power to act rightly, regardless of feeling. The weak man waits to feel motivated. The Stoic acts without it, for he knows feelings come and go, but duty remains. Discipline is choosing what's right even when it's hard. Look at the great men of history, not the loud, but the lasting. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire and still rose before dawn to write in his journal, to reflect, to train his soul. Discipline was not beneath him. It was the crown he wore quietly, daily. You think freedom is doing whatever you want. No, that is chaos. Real freedom is doing what is necessary, even when you don't want to. Self-discipline gives you that power. It is the engine of greatness, the path to peace, and the guardian of virtue. No success is possible without it. No mastery, no legacy, no peace. Discipline sharpens talent into skill. It turns ambition into action. It transforms scattered thoughts into focused results. Want to change your life? Start with the first thing you can control, your habits. You will not rise by accident. You will not stumble into excellence. You will not achieve clarity by indulging your impulses. Every moment you say no to the easy path, you take one step closer to becoming who you were meant to be. Your body must be disciplined. Your tongue must be restrained. Your thoughts must be examined. Your emotions must be governed. This is not cruelty, it is craftsmanship. You are sculpting a life of meaning. And no sculptor builds by accident. Discipline is not a moment, it is a rhythm. It is choosing the hard right every day until it becomes who you are. It is waking before the world does. It is turning down the second plate. It is walking into the storm when others run, and over time it becomes your identity. You cannot fake strength. It must be forged. You cannot speak discipline, you must live it. When temptations rise and distractions beckon, the disciplined man stands firm, not because it is easy, but because he has trained for this moment. His will is steel, so start now. Wake earlier than you want. Work longer than you feel like. Say no more often. Do the uncomfortable thing. It is not about being harsh, it is about being free. And discipline, in the end, is the only door to freedom that lasts. Face reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. Reality does not bend for your preferences. The world does not pause because you are tired or overwhelmed. What is, is. The Stoic accepts this not with bitterness but with clarity. To wish things were otherwise is to waste your strength. Strength begins when illusion ends. The weak man lives in fantasies. He dreams of easier paths, different outcomes, and a life free of struggle. But the Stoic wakes each day and says, I will face what is. He does not ask the storm to stop, he prepares his sails. He does not curse the mountain, he climbs it. There is immense power in saying, this is the truth. Now what will I do with it? It's not about passivity. It's about alignment. Only when you see clearly can you act effectively. Denial is a fog. Acceptance is firelight, it shows the path, even when it's hard. People waste years resisting what they already know deep down. They stay in broken relationships. They avoid hard decisions. They pretend they are fine when their soul is rotting. The Stoic sees through that. He knows. Pretending is easy, facing the truth is the real battle. Truth often hurts, but it's the kind of pain that heals. When you look at yourself and see your flaws, your excuses, your laziness, that is not defeat. That is the beginning of growth. You cannot change what you refuse to name. So name it, own it. You do not control events, you control your response. You do not control people, you control your principles. You do not control outcomes, you control your efforts. This is the Stoic way. To act with full force in the realm you govern and release the rest. If something is unfair, acknowledge it. If life has been hard, admit it. But then ask, what is in my control? That question, asked consistently, will make you unbreakable. Victims ask why. Stoics ask how. How do I move forward? How do I respond? Most people numb themselves, they drink, they scroll, they complain, all to avoid seeing what is. But Stoicism is not a blindfold, it's a mirror, and if you dare to look, it will show you everything. Not to shame you, but to free you, because from truth comes transformation. Train your eyes to see clearly, not emotionally, not wishfully, but honestly. Don't let ego distort your vision. Don't let fear shape your lens. Let reason guide you. Let nature guide you. Let the truth, even when it's hard, become your compass. You were not meant to live in dreams. You were meant to shape reality with virtue. So stand in the light of what is. Even if it blinds you, even if it burns, for only when you face life without illusion can you begin to master it. Build an inner fortress no one can invade. You cannot control the world, but you can fortify your soul. That is the Stoic promise, not safety from chaos, but strength within it. Not escape from adversity, but endurance through it. Your peace must not depend on weather, people, or fate. It must be built within, stone by stone, choice by choice. Most people build their identity on sand, external things like status, validation, possessions, pleasure. But what happens when the world takes them away? They collapse because their foundation was never real. The Stoic builds differently. He builds where the world cannot reach. This fortress is not made of pride. It is not arrogance or isolation. It is calm self-command, virtue. It is a heart trained to beat steadily in crisis. It is a mind that does not panic when insulted, betrayed, or overlooked. It is the armor of reason, silent, invisible, impenetrable. You must understand, the world will not spare you. You will be lied to. You will be abandoned. You will lose. If your happiness depends on anything outside of you, then your peace is rented, not owned, and what is rented can always be taken back. So, build a fortress, not from stone, but from discipline, not from walls, but from wisdom. Let your strength be rooted in how you think, how you act, how you endure. Let people see that nothing moves you unless you allow it. That is true power. The Stoics sat among crowds yet remained undisturbed. They ruled empires yet lived like servants of virtue. Why? Because their focus was never on controlling the world, only on mastering themselves. Their fortress was not built around them, it was built within. Every morning, ask yourself, what today could disturb me, who might provoke me, what might fall apart, and then remind yourself, none of it can harm my character unless I permit it. The Stoic prepares in advance. He strengthens his inner walls before the siege arrives. You cannot stop the wind, but you can build a shelter. You cannot stop people from speaking lies, but you can guard your peace. You cannot predict outcomes, but you can always return to your principles. This is the Stoic defense: clarity, composure, and choice. There will be days when you feel weak, when emotions batter your mind like waves. Return to the fortress. Breathe, reflect, ask, what is mine to control? What virtue is called for now? In that moment, you reclaim your power not because life got easier, but because you stood firm. This fortress is your freedom. No king can give it, no thief can steal it. It is earned through daily discipline, brutal honesty, and unwavering practice. Build it now before the storm comes, and when it does, let the world shake, you will not. Act now. Philosophy is useless without action. Words are wind without action. You may read every Stoic text, memorize every quote, listen to 1,000 speeches, but if you do not act, you have gained nothing. Philosophy is not for display, it is a weapon, and weapons unused rust. The weak man waits. He plans endlessly, dreams loudly, but never moves. He wants the right time, the perfect mood, the clean path. But the Stoic knows the path is made by walking, the time is now. Action is the test of belief. You say you believe in discipline, then rise early. You say you value virtue, then live with integrity. You admire courage, then speak the truth today. Every moment you delay action, you reinforce weakness. The mind learns from what the body does, and if the body does nothing, the mind decays. Philosophy must live in your spine, not just your lips. You do not become strong by talking about strength. You become strong by lifting the weight, facing the fear, walking into the fire. Wisdom without action is cowardice in disguise. There is no growth without movement. You must sweat, you must struggle, you must apply what you know. Otherwise, knowledge becomes a comfort blanket. It's something to hide behind while life passes you by. The Stoics didn't hide, they fought. They led, they acted. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." That is the Stoic challenge, not to speak like a sage, but to live like one. Can you hold your temper when provoked? Can you act justly when it costs you? Can you remain calm when all is chaos? That is philosophy. Most men fail not because they don't know what to do, but because they don't do what they know. The Stoic is not superior because he has answers. He is superior because he acts on them, in silence, in small choices, in daily battle with his lower self. You will never feel ready, do it anyway. You will doubt yourself, do it anyway. You will want to wait until tomorrow. Do it today. Strength is built in motion. Even imperfect action is better than perfect intention. The Stoic moves, always. Make your body obey your reason. Make your day obey your priorities. Stop chasing endless motivation, chase momentum. With each action, you carve a new identity. Each choice is a vote. Am I strong or weak? Am I disciplined or indulgent? Choose wisely, and remember, this life is short. You do not know how many days remain. Philosophy cannot extend your years, but it can fill them with greatness. So act, live with urgency, think with depth, move with purpose. That is how you stop being weak, not by words, but by will. You're not weak because you were born that way. You're weak because you trained yourself to be. But the good news, you can retrain your mind right now. Through Stoic discipline, you reclaim your power. Through hardship you harden, through philosophy you become fireproof. Remember Marcus Aurelius. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one.